Okay, let's talk the reality of actually being a VA. Let's talk the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so what makes being a VA a good thing? Or even amazing? Okay, it's the flexibility. So you can work from anywhere, set your own hours, decide how much or how little you want to work. That's pretty amazing. Control over your own work-life balance. So that's perfect for anyone that needs to maintain their own schedule or plan their own schedule. So like parents and students. You get a variety of work because every day is different. There is scalability because as you progress and you become an expert, you can charge more for your services. There's endless learning opportunities. You're constantly learning new tools, new skills, and new techniques. And that all adds up to being quite valuable over time. Now let's talk about the bad. There's some challenges that you might face. Number one would be clients from hell. Some clients have really unrealistic expectations, poor communication skills, or they are just plain difficult. So dealing with those can be a challenge. There's also things that come up like you underestimate job lengths. So mainly VAs initially struggle with estimating how long tasks are going to take, and then they end up being underpaid for the time spent. So an easy way to fix this is to track your time, and that'll help you to set realistic expectations moving forwards. Income instability is another issue that we see a lot, especially in the beginning because you don't have a set roster of customers. So you might experience dry spells in the beginning, and sometimes you have clients drop off suddenly as well. So you need to work out ways of it being a stable client base and building that up over time. Wearing multiple hats. So as a VA, you're not just doing the client's work, you also have to manage your own business. And that means marketing, invoicing, taxes, etc. You've got to keep up with all of it. And the other bad thing is isolation. So since you work most of the time alone, it can feel isolating and lonely compared to a traditional office environment. Now, for some people like me, that suits me. I like working by myself, so it doesn't bother me in the slightest, but I know that some people miss that connection with people. But you can always get that connection from Zoom calls and interacting with people that way. Now let's get to the ugly. The tough realities of VA life. Burnout. This is probably the biggest one. Because you can work from anywhere, a lot of people fall into the trap of working all the time, especially in the beginning when you're hustling to build a business. So it's extremely important in the beginning to set boundaries, not just with your customers, but also with yourself on when you're going to work and when you're going to rest, because otherwise you will burn out. You need to look after yourself. You also need to look after your health and make sure that you get out and get sunshine, because otherwise you end up being trapped in your house and you don't leave it. So you need to get out, get some sunshine, take a walk, make sure that you build that into your day. Late payments or non-paying clients. Unfortunately, some clients will pay late. Some clients will not pay at all. So how do you deal with this? You need to include late payment terms in your contracts and use invoicing systems that handle payments upfront. So you should get paid upfront and then work your hours, because otherwise you can't guarantee that you'll get paid. So it's a much better way to do things. So charging a retainer upfront for 10 hours or 20 hours or something like that is much better for you. And that way you can just track the hours that you've worked and take that off. Unpredictable workloads. So some weeks you might be overwhelmed with work, and others you're scrambling to find things to do. So balancing that out can be quite difficult. So You just sort of have to go with it, especially as you're getting established and figuring things out. Another issue that comes up a lot, which is, it's not really an ugly one, it's just an issue that comes up a lot, and that's time zone challenges. So if you have clients that work all over the world, it can lead to working odd hours or missed deadlines if communication isn't clear. So you really need to be clear if you're working with people overseas on your time zones and their time zones, and you need to check everything regularly to make sure that you are going to meet deadlines. So how do we navigate all of these challenges? You really need to set boundaries, learn how to manage your time. You need to have a diversified portfolio of clients. So don't just rely on one client, because that can be really risky. You need to make sure that you have stable income, and you can only get that by having multiple clients. Make sure you focus on self-care, because we don't want you to burn out. So you need to schedule downtime, and you need to have time away from your work. And so if you have a home office, make sure it's somewhere where you can close the door and you don't see it, because you need to relax and you need to have that time away from everything. And the other thing is community support. Like, join some communities and network with other freelancers to make sure that you're not isolated, and share resources with them, build relationships and friendships, because this is the best way to network as well. And speaking of communities, I do have a free Facebook community that you are more than welcome to join. So my free Facebook group is called VA and Freelancer Network, and I will add a link to it. I'll pin it to the top of the comments of this video. And if you need assistance getting started with working as a VA, I do have a paid membership that has just started, and it's called the Part-Time Virtual Assistant Academy. And you can jump in there and learn all the basics that you need to start a virtual assistant business today, and it's only $7 a month. So jump on in, ask questions, and we will build all the training around what people really need. So it has all the basic training in there at the moment. We are going to go a lot deeper though. All right, so I hope that this video has been helpful. Please let me know if you've got any questions at all, or if there's anything that you'd like me to do a future video on. Have a fantastic day. See you soon.